Hello Marvel Legends, it's time for another Legends Legacy review. Oh my god, I thought you'd given up on these, Dave. Yeah, so did I. But you know what? I just get distracted. I get distracted very, very easily. I have an attention span that can only be measured in nanoseconds. If you know a movie that quote is from, or the movie that quote is from, hit me up because that's a deep, obscure cut. Anyway, it's Legends Legacy Review. Oh my goodness, we haven't done one of these in ages, but I've got so many new, old Marvel Legends that we gotta go way back to the start, or at least the start of my collection, because we're going back to the Green Goblin, Ultimate Green Goblin wave with SpiderGirl right here. Also, you see I've got like a little SpiderMan playing in the background. Let me know if this is good or bad. Like, is this distracting, or is this kind of a fun little addition that kind of brightens up the set? Let me know what you think. It's an experiment. This is like jazz. We're kind of free-forming it as we go. So here is SpiderGirl from the Green Goblin wave. And this is a figure that I never really felt the need to have. Like, she's a very basic kind of, mold character. Nothing too special going on here, and I eventually decided that I needed to bite the bullet on her because they've kind of established in the modern Spider-Man titles this kind of spider society, like a spider team, and she's very much a prominent part. The team also has Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider, whatever you want to call her, Miles Morales, Spider-Girl here, and Spider-Woman. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Silk! Yes, Silk, of course. There you go. So that is the Spider Society, or the Spider Team, whatever you want to call them, the Spider Avengers. But she plays an important part here. Anya Corazon. So she debuted like back in the sort of early 2000s, and her history is so... It's not convoluted, but just she's had a lot happen. It's funny because she was always just off of the main Spider-Man radar, so I never saw like all that much with her, but reading up on her on Wiki and fandom, like she has done so much. When she was first brought into the comics, she was like saved and recruited by this group called the Spider Society, and they gave her these powers and made her like the hunter of the Spider Society, and she had a sort of a mech bio suit that basically it was the Guyver. I'm pretty sure there was some Guyver influence going on there. But anyway, after a whole lot happens, she loses those powers, she gets other powers, it's back and forth. It's a whole thing. Eventually, we end up with her taking the full name and title of Spider-Girl, and she adopts the Jessica. I always get my Carpenters and Drews confused, but she takes this Spider-Girl's costume, the one who is now Madam Web. Why are they both called Jessica? Now I understand why Vince McMahon doesn't like wrestlers to share names, because like, it's confusing, people can't understand more than one name. And whenever I hear that, I'm like, Vince, stop treating your audience like idiots. And now I'm here going, is it Jessica Drew or Carpenter? I don't know, more than one name is difficult. But yeah, this figure, I like it probably more than I should do. You know, I was giving out so much about the Spider-Girl, the MC2, Mayday Parker Spider-Girl. I was like, this figure has no articulation, and it's so plain and basic, and he doesn't have any changeable hands, and all the same could be said for this character here. But completely hypocritically, I really like it. I know, rhyme nor reason, who can figure? Probably because at least we have a face. We have an actual face here, as opposed to a very basic Spider-Man mask. We can see some detail going on here. Yes, she does have a plain expression, but because her eyes are covered, she doesn't have that uncanny valley mannequin look, purely because they're covered. So it just looks like she has a very kind of soulful sort of look on her face. It's nice, like it's not a smile, it's not a grimace, it's just, I don't know, sort of a contentment. Like, I dig it. It probably, I don't know if it was intentional by the sculptor or just dumb luck, but I think it makes a really good head sculpt. Also, just the black and white spider costume always looks cool. I think that's just, it pops, you know? Whereas I think because Mayday Parker is so small, all the detail gets a bit muddy and a bit messy. She doesn't have changeable hands, but at least she doesn't have web thwipping hands. And I just don't like web thwipping hands as a personal preference. That's just me. So she has the open hand and the fisted hand, and that kind of works. You know, I'm not sure what she's doing exactly. Looks kind of like a Hulk Hogan kind of pose, but it's like she's sizing up where she's about to fling a web or what have you. And of course, you know, she's got the nice hair sculpt here as well. So it just adds all these different elements that just make her a nice figure. The articulation still isn't great. Like, again, being this female character, her legs don't really move up very much, which is a real shame. Like with a spider character, you want like crazy gymnastic sort of movements, and you don't get that with this. So she has to be quite static. Like even if you put her on a flight stand, there's not much that you can do to kind of like make her look too dynamic, which is kind of a shame. So that I can't really fault the figure for too much because it's the body mold itself. But again, you have to bear that in mind when ranking these figures. So speaking of ranking, let's take a look at where we are going to put Ana Corazon, SpiderGirl. So looking at the rankings here, we're getting quite a lot of figures now. So she's definitely way above SpiderGirl. And even though they share similar body types, you would think, well, maybe I'll just put her one above. But I want to go higher. It's like Nova, I still don't love that figure. We're going to go up further. Superior Spider-Man, no time for him. Sorry. But now we're starting to think like, okay, Black Cat does have a face, but it's not a good face. She has a whip, but it kind of falls out of her hand a lot. And oh, we're getting that new Black Cat, so that's exciting. So she's going to go above Black Cat. Does she go above Boomerang? That's the question. And honestly, I'm going to say yes. I'm not a fan of like the grimacing face on Boomerang. I don't like the paint job too much. He's got the throwing boomerangs, but it's not enough. I think whatever, just look at the expression, the hair, this works. So congratulations, SpiderGirl. You are going above Boomerang in the Marvel Legends Legacy review. Whew, almost got through that whole review without garbling my words. You know what? I'm glad to be back doing these. I was resting on my laurels. I was doing all the unboxings because they're easy. It's just, you just sit down and open stuff. But I want to go back to what this channel really established its viewer base on, which is Marvel Legends. And because I love the fact that you guys have come here for your daily dose of Marvel Legends. Don't know if I'm going to be able to keep this up every day because universal government credit is being stopped and we're kind of all being forced to try and find work wherever we can do, and it's tough. Yeah. If you're watching in the UK, I don't need to tell you that. If you're watching anywhere in the world, I don't need to tell you that. Things are tough right now. But as long as I can find an hour or two in the day to put these videos together and make them worth watching, I don't ever want to put out garbage just for the sake of putting out garbage. Unless it will get subscribers, in which case I'll put out garbage. It's fine. I'll make a Patreon for garbage if it'll earn me some shekels. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel as always. Like, share, and subscribe. Join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the subscribe button down below. I will see you in the next episode. Don't be articulate and keep displaying model behavior.